welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, series number 13. This is day number 4, and our sketch was designed by Miss Carrie. I will have her social media links listed down below in my description, along with the playlist for the month of October for 30 Days of Sketches. This is a very beautiful sketch, and I will probably want to do this one again some other time. But today I am going to piggyback off yesterday's layout with the leftovers from yesterday's layout, and I'm going to scrapbook some photos of our old man kitty, Smudge. These photos were taken in 2015, and my children put a toad on his head, on his back, and then set it right next to him, and he is an unhappy kitty cat right there in that photo. Like, he is glaring at the world. We also call him our glary boy because he glares at the world all the time. So like I said, this is kind of piggybacking off yesterday's photo layout, because I'm using the scraps from yesterday. I had cut this piece for the right hand side of yesterday's layout, and because of the size of my photos, I ended up covering it up completely, so I just left it out and figured I'd use it again. Didn't mean to grab it so quickly, but I am going to use it again, and I pulled out a few more pieces of ephemera from the little packages of ephemera. I'm using some from Doodlebug called Kitten Smitten, and Bella Boulevard, which is, this is their Chloe collection. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and we're going to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some color on this white piece of cardstock. You've probably already learned this month I'm not a huge fan of a lot of white space. I really struggled with day 2's layout because of the initial white space, but adding some stencil bit really helps. So this stencil is another stencil that it's really easy to just move and make a continuous design, and I'm just kind of sticking it in the middle so that it'll end up where there's not going to be a whole lot of product. What you see me doing here is, I've mentioned this a few times over the last few months in my videos, I am redoing how I'm storing and organizing my small stencils, and that was the envelope and the piece of cardstock that goes in the envelope, and once I wash that stencil and put it back in there, I'll know exactly where it goes. So I'm going to mat my 2 photos on this yellow paw paper. I know that you can't really see them very well on the paws very well, but because she has a pretty large border at the top and bottom of it, you can still see them fairly well, and I'll still have a piece of paper for another kitty cat layout. And I assure you, there are lots of kitty cat layouts coming up. I am currently scrapbooking 2015 and 2016, and in 2016 my husband brought me a kitten home one day as a surprise, and this is the kitten that you see walk through my videos all the time. He is such a spoiled baby. But this is our old man kitty, Smudge. He is 15 years old now. I think that's right. Anyway, he's old and he's crabby, but to be fair, he's always been crabby. He's just that typical kitty cat that acts cranky. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down my banner piece. That strip of paper was 1.5 inches wide. I left it 12 inches long so that I could get the banner cut without making a mistake on where it was going to end up. I didn't want to mess up the length, because in the sketch this piece peeks out over the top of those photos. You will also notice that I only put adhesive in the middle of my first photo mat, and that was because I knew I was going to lift it up again, and I wanted to be able to move it relatively easy without tearing a bunch of patterned paper. Now I'll add some more adhesive to it so it'll be glued down permanently. So this is kind of my starting point with this layout. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it down to the left-hand side of my page. I'm leaving room to be able to tuck things at the top and at the bottom, just in case I need to tuck more than I realize. And now I'm going to work on getting the borders on the right-hand side. I do think it's fun that yesterday's and today's layout both had borders on the right-hand side. I can tell you that the creators of these sketches didn't know where they were going to end up in the rotation, so it's just a coincidence that we had two layouts back to back with borders on the right hand side. And this would be really cool if my pages were going to end up in an album side by side. They're not, because these photos were taken in 2015 and the layout I did yesterday was 2016, so they're not even going to be in the same album. But you know, you could have used those layouts back to back for a 2-page layout and just flipped your strips. Anyway, just a suggestion. I'm going to start adding some bits and pieces. I did stick the tag up at the top. There's 2 tags, a pink tag and a white tag. I have a kitty cat sleeping on a pillow. It's kind of a shame that he's not black. Most of the black kitties in this collection were female. And while I could cover up any bows on them, I chose not to. I liked the kitty cat sleeping on a pillow because he's sitting on a chair and that has a pillow in it and he's sleeping in it, him and his not friend Toad. I'm adding some hearts on here because even though Mr. Smudge is cranky pants, we really love him very, very much, and that's probably why he's cranky pants. He gets too much loving. Just ask him. Anyway, I wasn't going to use that bigger Doodlebug black cat down there on the bottom, but then I'm like, hey, he will look really cute peeking out over the top of that house, and so that's what I was going to do with that. And I cut 3 lengths of ribbon to put on my tags, and I only end up using 2 because up at the top the ribbon is too big to put on both tags side by side. It takes up too much real estate on the layout, and so I leave it off. I actually almost left off the ribbon piece down at the bottom as well for the same reason, but it ends up on the final layout. You can see that I put my title here and I put a paw print behind it so that it had something kind of layered up around the title. I'll do a little more work off camera as well. So I wanted to use these blue letters for a subtitle, and my first pick I didn't have enough letters for. I didn't have any H's, so I ended up having to change it out. But first I sit here and I tried to spell it out. I get to R-I-G and then realize I don't have an H to spell right. I was gonna say catitude, right, meow, but I didn't have any H's, and I didn't see a way to actually create an H from the remaining letters easily. So it is what it is, and I just changed my title. The goal is to use up this pack of alpha letters. I think these are from Freckled Fawn, and I've used them on several layouts, and I would really like to use up as many of them as I can before I toss the remaining, because I don't tend to keep letters that I don't have enough of. I realize my title's not straight. I will fix that. This layout all finished. Let me show you that sketch again by Miss Carrie. This is such a beautiful sketch. I really, really love it. Like I said, I'm gonna play with this one again another time, but I did get this one finished and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I, of course, popped some of this stuff up on foam adhesive and added the ribbons, which you saw me tie on camera, put in my handwritten journaling, and it's done. So I want to thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. You guys, I appreciate all of your comments, your likes, and your subscriptions to my channel. If you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you subscribe. It makes me extremely happy when I get a new subscriber, and I would love to have you. Make sure that you check that description box below so that you can see that playlist and get Miss Carrie's social media information. I will supply that below. You have a great rest of your day. Bye.